You ever wake up feeling like your chest is heavy, like your dreams are suffocating under the weight of your fears, like no matter how hard you chase, life keeps pulling the finish line further? I want you to hear me right now. Everything you want, everything you pray for when no one's watching, it's already yours. But the reason you haven't touched it yet is simple. You're holding on too tight to things that don't serve you. Your past, that betrayal, the doubt, the need to control every step. You're gripping the chains and wondering why you can't fly. Life doesn't reward control, life rewards courage. You don't find freedom by holding on. You find it by letting go. Letting go of what broke you, of who left you, of what didn't work. That pain was not punishment. It was preparation. The moment you release what weighs you down is the moment the universe stops resisting you. That's when money starts flowing. That's when love finds you. That's when your vision becomes reality. You have to become the person who doesn't chase but attracts because they've let go. Power comes when you stop begging and start becoming. Let go and watch everything come rushing in. Letting go is not weakness, it's alignment with power. That phrase alone can shift your life if you stop and actually feel it. We live in a world that teaches us the opposite, that to be strong means to hold on longer than everyone else, to suffer more silently, to grip tighter when things begin to fall apart. We're taught that letting go is giving up, that it's quitting, that it's a sign you weren't tough enough to make it work. But that's a lie. That's a lie rooted in ego, pride, and fear. The truth, the deep, soul-cutting truth, is that letting go is one of the most powerful things a human being can ever do, because it means you trust. It means you're not desperate. It means you've stopped trying to bend reality to your will, and instead you've chosen to rise to meet reality with grace. You see, real power doesn't scream. Real power doesn't chase, and it doesn't cling. Real power stands still, unshaken, knowing that whatever is meant to stay will stay, and whatever leaves was never meant to carry you forward. When you let go, you make room. You make room in your hands, in your heart, and in your mind. You open yourself to receive what's truly yours, because you're no longer drowning in what isn't. Most people are walking around carrying things they should have dropped years ago. Old relationships, failures, guilt, expectations that were never even their own. They're filling up their inner world with so much noise that there's no space left for peace, clarity, or elevation. And then they wonder why they feel stuck. Why their prayers aren't being answered. Why life feels like a loop. It's because the energy they need to move forward is being spent holding on to what's already broken. Letting go doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care enough about yourself to stop pouring into something that drains you. It means you're finally choosing yourself. That's the most powerful decision you can make. And yes, it's terrifying. Of course it is. Letting go means stepping into the unknown. It means walking away without knowing what's next. But that's exactly why it's power. Because only the strong walk alone for a while. Only the bold leave behind what's comfortable, not because it's unbearable, but because they know they're meant for more. You can't rise if you're constantly anchoring yourself to what was. You can't become who you're meant to be if you're still emotionally chained to the version of you that was built in survival mode. There's something magnetic that happens when you finally surrender, when you stop trying to force life to look a certain way and instead trust that what's meant for you won't pass you by. That kind of surrender isn't weakness. It's rooted in absolute self-worth. It says, I don't need to beg. I don't need to chase. I don't need to control. I am enough. When you reach that level of understanding, things begin to move in your life because you've stopped resisting. You've stopped holding your breath. You've stopped trying to swim upstream. You've dropped the need to prove something, and you've simply chosen to be. And in that being, in that peace, everything finds its way to you. Letting go is an act of trust, not just in life, but in yourself. It says, even if I walk away from this, I know I'll be okay. It says, even if this doesn't turn out how I planned, something better is coming. And it's not about sitting back and doing nothing. It's about aligning your actions with faith, not fear. It's about choosing to move forward even when your heart is bruised, because deep down, you know you were never meant to stay where you were. If you want to change your life, start with this one truth. You don't have to carry everything. Some things are meant to be lessons, not luggage. Stop confusing control with strength. Control is rooted in fear. It's rooted in the belief that if you don't manage every detail, everything will fall apart. But strength, real strength, is rooted in faith. It's knowing that even if everything falls apart, you won't. Because you built something stronger than a plan. You've built a foundation inside yourself. One that's unshakable. One that isn't held together by circumstances or other people's validation. That's the kind of strength that comes from letting go. That's the power that can't be taught, only earned. through heartbreak, through loss, through letting go of the old version of yourself. People will try to shame you for letting go. They'll call you weak for walking away, soft for choosing peace, arrogant for no longer chasing them. Let them. Because while they're still performing for love and fighting to keep what doesn't serve them, you'll be glowing in your own energy. While they're living in fear, you'll be moving in freedom. And while they're clinging to comfort, you'll be attracting everything they're still chasing because you dared to release the weight, because you chose to trust yourself more than the illusion of control. There will come a day when you look back on the very thing you thought would break you, and you'll be grateful it ended. You'll realize it wasn't rejection, it was redirection. You'll see that letting go wasn't a loss, it was a trade between survival and alignment, between exhaustion and power, between who you were and who you're becoming. And when that moment comes, you'll finally understand the truth. Letting go was never weakness. It was the beginning of your rise. So whatever it is you're holding on to, pain, a person, a plan, a version of yourself you've outgrown, ask yourself, is this giving me life or is it taking it? And if the answer is the latter, I dare you to release it. Not out of anger, not out of spite, but out of love. Love for the person you're becoming. Because that version of you, the free, powerful, radiant version, only shows up when you let go. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. This simple yet profound truth is the foundation upon which your entire life is built. We live in a world obsessed with chasing desires, money, success, love, validation, believing that if we want something badly enough and push hard enough, we will get it. But wanting something and becoming it are two very different things. The universe doesn't respond to your wish list. It responds to your energy, your vibration, your state of being. What you radiate, you magnetize. You cannot bring into your life what you do not embody internally. It's not about what you say you want. It's about who you have become in your mind, heart, and spirit. If you want success, but you live in doubt and fear, you will attract failure and frustration. If you want love, but you carry resentment and insecurity, you will attract disconnection and loneliness. If you want peace, but your mind is a battlefield of chaos and negativity, peace will always feel out of reach. The world is a mirror reflecting back the energy you project. When you look at your current reality, don't just see the circumstances. See the person you've become that matches those circumstances perfectly. Because attraction is not about what you chase externally, it's about the internal frequency you emit. And that frequency comes from your thoughts, beliefs, habits, and feelings. This is why so many people fail to get what they want, despite relentless effort. They work harder, hustle longer, chase faster, but their internal state remains the same. They remain stuck in scarcity thinking, fear-based decision-making, self-doubt, and low self-worth. No amount of external striving can fix what's broken inside. The energy of wanting something without becoming it is like trying to tune a radio to a station that isn't broadcast. You cannot receive what you are not aligned with on the inside. Your desires require you to transform, to evolve, to rise above your old self. The world doesn't hand out blessings to people who stay stuck in the same mindset that created their problems. To truly attract what you want, you must first become the kind of person who deserves it. This means raising your standards for yourself, not just in action, but in identity. Instead of saying, I want to be rich, say, I am someone who creates wealth. Instead of I want to be loved, say, I am lovable and I love myself deeply. When you step into who you want to be internally, your external reality begins to reflect that. This is the power of identity-based transformation. Your actions, habits, and relationships shift naturally because they are now congruent with the person you've chosen to become. And when your entire being vibrates at the level of your desire, the universe cannot help but respond. But becoming what you want isn't always easy. It requires deep introspection and brutal honesty. It means facing the parts of yourself that are holding you back. The fears, limiting beliefs, toxic patterns, and negative self-talk that keep you small. It means uprooting old stories you tell yourself like, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve this, or I'll never make it. These stories form the foundation of your identity and dictate your energetic output. If your story is full of limitation and scarcity, that is exactly what you attract. To rewrite your reality, you must rewrite your story. And that starts with awareness and choice. The process of becoming what you want is a daily commitment to self-growth and self-love. It's showing up every day and choosing to nurture the parts of yourself that support your highest vision. It's building new habits that reinforce your new identity. It's surrounding yourself with people and environments that uplift and challenge you to grow. It's speaking kindly to yourself and refusing to accept less than you deserve. When you take ownership of who you are, you shift from being a victim of circumstances to a creator of your destiny. And that shift is magnetic. People, opportunities, and resources begin to flow into your life with ease because you have become a living embodiment of what you desire. One of the most powerful ways to change your internal state is through your beliefs. Beliefs are the filter through which you experience the world. They shape your expectations and your reality. If you believe I am not worthy, you will subconsciously sabotage every opportunity for success. If you believe love is hard to find, you will push people away without realizing it. But when you consciously choose empowering beliefs, I am worthy of abundance, I attract loving relationships, your mind begins to scan for evidence that supports these truths. This rewires your brain and opens you up to new possibilities. Your subconscious mind then aligns your behavior with these beliefs, and your external world starts to change. Your emotions are also a crucial part of who you are attracting. Emotions are the language of your vibration. When you dwell in fear, anger, jealousy, or resentment, you emit a low-frequency signal that repels what you desire. When you cultivate gratitude, joy, confidence, and love, you raise your vibration and become a magnet for positive experiences. This doesn't mean you have to be happy all the time or ignore your pain. It means you acknowledge your feelings, process them, and consciously choose to focus on emotions that serve your growth. The more you practice emotional mastery, the more you align with the reality you want to attract. Another key element is your mindset about receiving. Many people struggle to accept good things because they feel undeserving or fear loss. You might work hard to achieve success or love, but then sabotage it because deep down you don't believe you deserve it. The truth is that to attract what you want, you must be open and ready to receive it fully. This means releasing resistance and doubts around worthiness. It means practicing surrender and trust that the universe will deliver in the perfect timing and way. When you are truly ready to receive, your vibration shifts and the flow of blessings becomes unstoppable. The people you surround yourself with also reflect who you are becoming. Energy is contagious. If you spend your time with negative, doubtful, or toxic people, their energy will weigh you down and keep you stuck. But if you choose to be around those who inspire, challenge, and uplift you, you raise your own frequency. Your environment becomes a catalyst for your growth and transformation. Who you are attracting is directly related to who you allow in your inner circle. Choose wisely because your tribe influences your vibe. In essence, what you attract into your life is not a coincidence or luck. It's a mirror of your inner world. Wanting something without becoming it is like sending out a message with no signal. Becoming what you want means embodying the qualities, mindset, and emotions that align with your desires. It means investing in your growth and healing, rewriting your beliefs, mastering your emotions, and elevating your environment. When you do this work, attraction becomes effortless. You stop chasing and start receiving. Your life transforms because you have transformed. So the question is, who are you becoming today? Are you stepping into the person who commands respect, love, and abundance? Or are you clinging to old patterns that keep you stuck in scarcity and struggle? You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. The power to change your life is in your hands. Choose wisely, commit fully, and watch how your world shifts as you become the magnetic force you were always meant to be. Clinging to the past blocks your future. It's a truth that so many of us struggle to accept because the past feels familiar, like a safety net. Even if it's frayed, torn, or full of pain, when you hold on tightly to what has already happened, whether it's regret, trauma, failed relationships, missed opportunities, or old identities, you are building invisible chains around your soul. These chains restrict your movement forward, limiting your ability to grow, evolve, and fully step into the life waiting for you. The past is like a shadow that follows you, and when you refuse to release it, that shadow grows larger, darker, and more suffocating, casting doubt and fear over your present and future. Why do we cling so desperately to the past? Part of it comes from the human desire for control and certainty. The past, no matter how painful or limiting, is known. It's a story we have lived, and in some twisted way, it feels safer than the unknown future. The memories, even the painful ones, become a kind of identity. We say, this is who I am because of what happened to me. And while our experiences shape us, they do not have to define us forever. Holding on to those old stories keeps us trapped in a cycle of replaying the same pain, the same mistakes, and the same emotions over and over again. It's as if we're carrying a heavy backpack filled with rocks from yesterday, dragging us down when all we want to do is run toward tomorrow. Clinging to the past also comes from a sense of unfinished business. We feel wronged, betrayed, or hurt and believe that if we hold on tightly enough, somehow we can fix it, rewrite it, or get closure. But the truth is, no matter how much you obsess over what's behind you, you cannot change it. The past is fixed, and trying to alter it in your mind only prolongs your suffering. The energy you pour into revisiting past wounds is energy stolen from building your future. Every moment you spend trapped in what ifs and if onlys is a moment you lose from creating something new, something better. The longer you stay attached, the less you move forward. This attachment to the past distorts your perception of reality. It clouds your judgment and limits your ability to see new opportunities because your mind is focused on what was rather than what can be. You become stuck in a loop of nostalgia or bitterness, unable to recognize the abundance and possibilities right in front of you. When you're weighed down by old hurts or failures, you approach new situations with fear and skepticism, expecting history to repeat itself. This expectation becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Your vibration lowers, and the universe matches that vibration with similar experiences. The cycle continues because you are still anchored in the past. Letting go of the past does not mean forgetting or denying what happened. It means accepting it fully and choosing to release its hold over your emotions and decisions. It means making peace with your story so that you can reclaim your power. When you let go, you create space for healing and transformation. You free yourself from the prison of resentment and pain, and you open the door to growth. It's like shedding a heavy coat you've worn for years. You realize how much energy you were wasting carrying that weight. Without it, you move lighter, faster, and with more clarity. Forgiveness is a key part of letting go. Forgiveness isn't about condoning bad behavior or pretending the pain didn't happen. It's about releasing the control those memories have over you. When you forgive, you are telling yourself that you refuse to be a victim any longer. You choose freedom over bitterness. You acknowledge that holding on to anger and resentment only hurts you, not the person who wronged you. Forgiveness is a powerful act of self-love and empowerment because it allows you to break free from the chains of the past and reclaim your energy. Another crucial step in releasing the past is shifting your identity. Often, we cling to the past because our identity is wrapped up in it. We say things like, I'm the person who was hurt, I'm the one who failed, or I'm the victim of my circumstances. When your sense of self is tied to past events, you unconsciously sabotage your future by acting in ways that keep those stories alive. To move forward, you must rewrite your identity. You must see yourself as a survivor, a fighter, a learner, and a creator, not a prisoner of what happened before. This shift in identity rewires your brain and changes your emotional landscape, allowing you to attract new experiences that align with who you are becoming. Living in the present moment is one of the most effective ways to release the past. When you focus on what's happening now, your breath, your body, your surroundings, you pull yourself out of the mental trap of replaying old scenes. Mindfulness practices such as meditation, journaling, or simply paying attention to your senses help you ground yourself in the here and now. The present is the only place where change can happen. It's where you have the power to choose your next step. By cultivating presence, you break the habit of living in past regrets and create a foundation for a future built on awareness and intention. Clinging to the past also blocks your future by limiting your vision. When you're stuck in yesterday's story, you can't see the bigger picture. You miss the lessons, the growth opportunities, and the potential that comes with every ending. Every time something in your life ends, whether it's a relationship, a job, or a chapter of your identity, it clears space for something new. But if you refuse to let go, you block that new thing from entering your life. Your future becomes a narrow tunnel instead of an open road. You close yourself off from abundance because you're focused on scarcity. You hold tight to what you know instead of embracing the possibility of what could be. The future demands courage, the courage to leave behind the familiar, even if it's painful, and step into uncertainty with faith. It requires you to trust that letting go is not loss, but gain. It requires you to believe that what's coming is better than what's gone. This faith isn't blind. It's built on the understanding that life flows in cycles and that growth always follows release. When you surrender the past, you make room for transformation. You align yourself with the natural rhythm of life, which is always forward moving. Your future is waiting for you, but it cannot arrive while you're clutching the remnants of the past. Imagine trying to run a race while dragging a heavy anchor behind you. No matter how fast you try to go, the anchor slows you down. The past is that anchor. To run freely, to soar, to reach your highest potential, you must cut the rope. You must take a deep breath and release. Let the past be a lesson, not a life sentence. This doesn't mean forgetting your history or pretending it didn't shape you. It means honoring your journey but refusing to be defined by it. It means owning your story, learning from it, and then turning the page. When you do this, you step into your power. You step into a future where you are no longer a victim but a victor. You become the architect of your life, designing a future that reflects your highest self rather than your deepest wounds. In the end, clinging to the past blocks your future because it traps you in a cycle of limitation. It keeps you stuck in pain, regret, and fear, but letting go liberates you. It frees your energy, expands your vision, and opens you to possibilities. It invites healing, growth, and transformation. If you want to move forward to create the life you truly desire, you must first release what's holding you back. You must choose freedom over familiarity, growth over comfort, and faith over fear. When you do, your future will no longer be blocked. It will unfold before you with endless potential. Control is the enemy of abundance. Release it. This statement challenges one of the deepest instincts in human nature, the need to control. From a young age, we are taught to plan, to organize, to manage every detail of our lives in the pursuit of security and success. We believe that if we can control our circumstances, people, and outcomes, we can prevent failure, pain, and disappointment. But the paradox is this: the tighter we grip, the more abundance slips through our fingers. The more we try to micromanage life, the more we close ourselves off from the flow of opportunity, joy, and true freedom. Control, instead of creating safety, builds walls that block the natural movement of abundance. At the heart of this lies a fundamental misunderstanding. Control feels like strength because it offers predictability. When we control, we reduce uncertainty. But life itself is uncertainty. It is fluid, dynamic, and often unpredictable. To try to control it rigidly is like trying to hold water in your hands. It simply slips away. Abundance in all its forms, whether it's wealth, love, creativity, or happiness, cannot be forced or manufactured through strict control. Abundance requires openness, flexibility, and trust. When you hold on too tightly, you create resistance, and resistance blocks flow. Control is often born from fear, the fear of loss, failure, rejection, or the unknown. When you are afraid, you tighten your grip, believing that if you control enough, you can avoid pain. But fear-driven control narrows your perspective. It blinds you to possibilities because you are focused only on what might go wrong. Instead of being open to new experiences and ideas, you stay trapped in a limited view of the world. This scarcity mindset keeps you stuck in survival mode, always reacting, never creating. True abundance requires a mindset of trust and expansion, not fear and contraction. Letting go of control does not mean becoming passive or careless. It means shifting from force to flow, from resistance to acceptance. It means taking inspired action while trusting the outcome will unfold in the right way and timing. When you release control, you stop trying to force every piece into place and instead work with life's natural rhythm. This doesn't make you weak, it makes you powerful in a different way. It allows you to conserve energy, reduce stress, and create space for unexpected blessings. The energy you once used to control can be redirected to creativity, growth, and connection. One of the most profound reasons control blocks abundance is that it creates a false sense of ownership over things that are not truly yours to own. People, opportunities, relationships, they're dynamic and alive, not possessions to be held tightly. When you try to control them, you suffocate their natural growth and evolution. Imagine holding a delicate flower in a fist so tight that the petals crush. Control kills the very thing you want to nurture. Abundance thrives in freedom. It flourishes when you allow things to breathe, evolve, and move naturally. To cultivate abundance, you must become a gardener, not a jailer. Releasing control also means releasing attachment to specific outcomes. This is one of the hardest lessons because we often equate our happiness or success with a particular result. We say, I must get this job, or I need this relationship to work, or I want this exact amount of money. While goals and desires are important, being attached to a fixed outcome creates pressure and disappointment. Life rarely follows a straight path. When you're attached, you resist detours and surprises, seeing them as threats rather than opportunities. But abundance often comes disguised in unexpected forms. When you release attachment, you open yourself to receive in ways you never imagined. Another powerful aspect of releasing control is learning to trust yourself and the universe. Trust doesn't mean passive waiting, it means confident surrender. It means believing that you have the inner strength and wisdom to handle whatever comes your way. It means knowing that even if things don't go according to your plan, you will adapt, learn, and grow. This trust shifts your energy from tension to ease, from anxiety to peace, and peace is the fertile ground where abundance grows. Control also damages relationships because it puts you in a position of dominance or manipulation. When you try to control others, whether it's your partner, family, friends, or colleagues, you create resistance, resentment, and disconnection. People are not puppets to be pulled at your whim. They need freedom to be themselves. Healthy relationships are built on respect, trust, and mutual growth, not control. By releasing control in your relationships, you invite deeper connection, authenticity, and love. When you stop trying to control how others behave or respond, you free yourself from disappointment and open the door to genuine connection. In business and creativity, control can be especially limiting. Entrepreneurs and artists often fall into the trap of micromanaging every detail, afraid to delegate or experiment because they want perfect outcomes. But innovation and growth require flexibility, risk, and sometimes failure. When you let go of control, you create space for creativity to flow, for collaboration to happen, and for new ideas to emerge. Abundance in these fields comes from trusting the process, not obsessing over the results. The spiritual dimension of releasing control is profound. Many spiritual traditions teach surrender as a path to liberation. This surrender is not defeat, but empowerment. It is recognizing that while you have power within, there's a greater force at work in the universe. When you align with this force by releasing control, you tap into infinite potential. You become a channel for abundance, rather than a gatekeeper trying to hoard it. This alignment brings a sense of peace and purpose that control can never provide. Practical steps to release control include mindfulness and presence. When you bring your attention fully to the present moment, you reduce the tendency to overthink, worry, and control. Meditation, deep breathing, and self-awareness practices help you observe your need to control without judgment. You begin to see how control creates tension and how letting go brings relief. Another step is to set intentions rather than rigid goals. Intentions guide your actions with purpose, but leave room for flexibility. This balance keeps you focused without trapping you in fixed expectations. Learning to ask for help and delegate is another way to release control. Many people struggle with this because they equate control with competence. But true competence includes knowing when to rely on others. By sharing responsibility, you lighten your load and open doors to collaboration and support. This network of support increases your capacity for abundance. Facing your fears is essential in releasing control. Often control is a defense mechanism against the fear of uncertainty and failure. By acknowledging and working through these fears, you reduce their power. This process might involve therapy, coaching, or honest conversations with yourself and others. The more you confront fear, the less need you have to control, and the more freedom you gain. Ultimately, releasing control is a gift you give yourself. It liberates you from stress, anxiety, and exhaustion. It opens you to joy, creativity, and connection. It allows abundance to flow into your life naturally and effortlessly. When you stop trying to force life to fit your exact specifications, you create space for miracles to happen. You move from scarcity to plenty, from fear to faith, from struggle to flow. Remember, control is the enemy of abundance. Release it, not because you are weak, but because you are wise enough to know that true power lies in surrender. Trust the process, trust yourself, and watch how abundance finds its way to you when you stop trying to hold it back. True strength is in surrender, not struggle. This idea may sound counterintuitive in a world that glorifies relentless hustle, pushing through pain, and never backing down. We are taught from an early age that strength means fighting, resisting, and controlling every outcome. We admire those who refuse to quit, who push their limits, who appear invincible. Yet, beneath the surface of this cultural myth lies a deeper, more powerful truth. The kind of strength that truly transforms lives, that builds resilience and peace, comes from surrender, not struggle. True strength is not about exhausting yourself in constant battle against reality. It's about aligning with life's flow, accepting what is, and moving forward with grace and wisdom. Struggle, by definition, is resistance. When you struggle, you push against something, circumstances, other people, your own limitations, or the way things are. This resistance creates tension, friction, and conflict. It's exhausting. Imagine trying to swim upstream against a raging current. The harder you fight, the more energy you waste, and the further behind you fall. Struggle creates weariness and often leads to burnout, frustration, and despair. It blinds you to solutions and keeps you locked in patterns of pain. You may think you're demonstrating strength by refusing to give up, but in reality, you're draining your power by resisting what cannot be changed. Surrender, on the other hand, is acceptance. It's not giving up or weakness. It's choosing peace over chaos, wisdom over stubbornness. Surrender means acknowledging reality exactly as it is without judgment or denial. It means understanding that some things are beyond your control and that fighting against them only prolongs suffering. When you surrender, you stop wasting energy on resistance and instead focus on how to respond effectively. This creates a state of calm clarity, where your actions come from a place of wisdom rather than desperation. True strength is found in this ability to surrender without losing yourself. It's the courage to let go of your need to control and the humility to accept help, change, or uncertainty. Surrender requires bravery because it means facing your fears and vulnerabilities honestly. It means admitting that you don't have all the answers and that sometimes the best thing you can do is step back, breathe, and trust the process. This kind of strength is quiet but unshakable. It's a deep inner resilience that holds steady no matter what storms come your way. When you struggle, you often focus on the problem itself, on what's wrong or what you lack. Surrender shifts your focus from the problem to your response. It invites you to see opportunities hidden within challenges. For example, surrendering to a difficult situation might mean accepting a loss, but it also opens the door to growth, learning, and new paths you hadn't considered. When you stop struggling against the current, you can use it to carry you forward. This flow state is where true power lives. Surrender also means embracing impermanence and change. Life is constantly shifting, and resistance to change is a major source of struggle. When you surrender, you recognize that nothing lasts forever. Not pain, not failure, not even success. This awareness allows you to let go of attachment to outcomes and instead focus on presence and adaptability. By flowing with life's natural rhythms, you conserve energy and cultivate peace. You become like water, soft yet unstoppable, able to navigate any obstacle with ease. On a deeper level, surrender connects you to something greater than yourself. It opens the door to spirituality, whether you understand that as faith, universal energy, or simply trust in the natural order of things. When you surrender, you acknowledge that you are part of a larger whole, and that you don't have to carry the weight of the world alone. This realization brings profound relief and a sense of belonging. It also fosters gratitude, because surrender helps you see that even difficult experiences contribute to your growth and evolution. In relationships, true strength through surrender is equally transformative. Struggling to control or change others creates conflict and distance. But when you surrender your need to control, you create space for authentic connection and mutual respect. Surrender allows you to listen deeply, to be vulnerable, and to love without conditions. This kind of strength fosters trust and intimacy because it's based on acceptance rather than demand. It's a strength that invites collaboration and healing, not resistance and division. Surrender is also crucial for mental and emotional health. Constant struggle generates stress, anxiety, and burnout. When you surrender, you create space for healing and self-compassion. You allow yourself to feel your emotions fully without judgment and to release what no longer serves you. This process reduces inner turmoil and builds emotional resilience. It teaches you that strength is not about suppressing pain, but embracing it as part of your human experience. Practically speaking, cultivating strength through surrender requires intentional practice. It starts with mindfulness, becoming aware of when you're resisting or struggling unnecessarily. Notice the tension in your body, the racing thoughts, the feeling of being stuck. Then, consciously choose to soften your grip, to breathe, and to let go of the need for immediate control. This doesn't mean giving up on your goals or values. It means holding them lightly and adapting as needed. It means asking, what can I learn here, and how can I move forward with grace? Another way to cultivate this strength is through gratitude. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing or wrong to what's present and good. It helps you surrender dissatisfaction and embrace acceptance. When you practice gratitude regularly, you build a foundation of positivity that supports resilience and openness. It's also important to recognize that surrender is not a one-time event, but an ongoing process. Life will continually present challenges that trigger your instinct to struggle. Each time you have a choice to fight against the current or to flow with it. Over time, surrender becomes easier and more natural, and your strength grows deeper and more stable. Ultimately, true strength is not about dominating life or forcing outcomes. It's about harmonizing with life's rhythms, accepting what is, and responding with wisdom and courage. It's the power to stand firm without rigidity, to be flexible without weakness, and to move forward with both humility and confidence. Surrender frees you from the exhausting cycle of struggle and opens the door to peace, growth, and abundance. When you embrace surrender, you discover a strength that is both gentle and unbreakable. A strength that sustains you through every challenge and leads you to your highest potential. True strength is in surrender, not struggle, because surrender allows you to reclaim your power in the most profound way. It's the quiet confidence that you don't have to control every outcome to thrive. It's the wisdom to know when to push and when to yield, when to act and when to wait. Struggle wears you down, breeds frustration, and blinds you to the possibilities that exist beyond resistance. Surrender opens your eyes to new paths, unexpected blessings, and deeper peace. It doesn't mean giving up on your dreams or settling for less. It means moving forward with grace, knowing that life's flow will carry you toward what is meant for you. This kind of strength is sustainable. It endures because it is rooted in acceptance, trust, and courage. When you learn to surrender, you stop fighting against life and start dancing with it. You transform struggle into growth, conflict into connection, and fear into faith. In surrender, you find freedom. Freedom from the exhausting need to control, freedom to live authentically, and freedom to embrace the fullness of your journey. This is the true strength that changes everything. Because when you surrender, you rise.